If we do not get to your question on today's mailbag or any of the mailbags, hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. I would appreciate it if my DMs are filled with good Cowboys questions as opposed to clear bots that are trying to sell me other things that are probably illegal in some countries. So hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. The DMs are open. Zeno saying a $5 super chat. I've noticed fans already going to Dak for throwing an INT in practice. He did the same thing last year. People went crazy. Stop overreacting. To an extent, training camp doesn't matter to me for Dak Prescott. We know who he is. What can Dak Prescott do in training camp that would make you feel better about him? Nothing. It's training camp. He's a known commodity. It matters so much more for players like Trey Lance, who are unknown commodities. Tyler Guyton, younger players. Like my number one goal of training camp for Dak, don't get hurt. I will call that a successful camp. And I thought he had a great day. That was on our live show Thursday, obviously. Thought he had a great day on Wednesday. He doesn't have CeeDee Lamb out there. The passing offense isn't as good as a result. That's all expected. You will throw interceptions in camp. And frankly, if you're not, more often than not, it probably means you're not challenging yourself in the way that you should be challenging yourself as a passer. From We Don't Wife These 304s, did you see Louis Riddick cook Mad Dog Russo? I did. Because one of them's a football guy, one of them's a shock jock. So the football guy had a better football opinion. Shocker, right? Shocker. From Chris, is that Lonergan? Can the Cowboys keep all of Micah and CeeDee Lamb? I think the most important part of your question there is the first non-hashtag Cowboys part. Can. They can. They absolutely can do so. Don't let the Cowboys sit up there and tell you and lie and gaslight you. 70%, 80% of the cap, it's just flat out not true. It's not true at all. It's not even close to it. Even going with the highest number possible and zero structuring, it's not that number. It's barely even half it without any structuring. You do it properly, yes, you can. Now, will they choose to? I don't know. This team doesn't spend the cash the same way other teams do. They don't spend the same cash that the Browns do, that the Eagles do, that other NFL teams. They just don't operate that way. It's very frustrating to me because they're not maximizing their window. They can. Will they? I have my doubts. So get your predictions in. Will the Cowboys pay the big three right now? Micah, Lamb, and Parsons. It's the pinned comment on today's show, so that ad comes on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Y for yes, N for no. A $5 super chat from my guy Mark. We have two really good corners. Tank, who is solid but isn't a pass rush threat, and number 11. No other D player scares anyone on this team. It's pathetic, but aloha, Tom. Appreciate that, my friend. I think you have good players on your team that round that out. I think that Odigizua is a good player. I think you got some young guys who have potential to be good players, right? I think your safeties are good. I think Jordan Lewis is good. But I do think you've got two really good corners, a superstar pass rusher, and I think the biggest thing that I'm still searching for all these years later, and I've looked for a long time now, I want an impact, dynamic interior pass rusher. Tank's not that. Micah's not that. I think you need an impact piece on the middle. And we'll see about Mazi. I have my doubts there. I think Osa's a good player, but Osa's also faded every single second half of his career. I have to see him be more than that before I buy into it. Chauncey Golston's not that. Justin Rogers is not that. I don't know if you have that guy. And I think that's the big thing you're missing. I think your linebacking core is good enough. I think your safety core is good enough. The one big thing you're missing on defense is that dynamic interior presence. Today's show is made possible by Rocket Money. Optimize your finances. Take control of your spending with Rocket Money. Most Americans think they spend about $62 a month on subscriptions. But get this, the real number is closer to $300. It is thousands of dollars per year, half of which we've probably forgotten about. Thankfully, Rocket Money helps find and cancel any unwanted subscriptions you or I have. It is a personal finance app helps you find and cancel those unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. All in one place so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and it's a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. That's rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Clayton Lockhart, thoughts on the new kickoff rules? What are your thoughts? Mine are they suck. We're filming this before the Hall of Fame game. Let me see how it looks in action before I decide anything. I will say, I think this will lead to more returns. That's a good thing. Because right now, the kickoff game was basically dead. So I think the possibility of more returns will potentially end up being a good thing for the NFL. And I think for the Cowboys with Kevontae Turpin as well. Brent S., what rookie will have the biggest impact in 2024? Probably Tyler Guyton, right? It's probably a red flag in some capacity if it's not Guyton. Probably means somebody else got hurt, or Guyton got hurt, or Guyton couldn't get on the field, which would kind of blow me away. So I think it's pretty clearly Guyton is going to have the biggest impact, even if we might not feel the impact of a lineman the same way we'd feel of like a linebacker or a corner or something, or a running back or whatever. But I'm going to go Guyton there. Who do you think will be the Cowboys' best rookie this season? Sound off for me in the comments section of today's show. Lee Lilly, why do we never say Lael Collins' name anymore? Is he not better than Chuma Edoga? Several reasons. Number one, he is not on the Cowboys anymore. He's on the Bills. The Cowboys didn't bring him back. He signed with Buffalo back in April. The Cowboys had an in-depth look at him for a couple weeks, and they went, we don't need him. That tells me that they didn't think he was very good. So I am no fan of Chuma Edoga, but I think that probably gives a pretty good indication of where they're at and how they feel about Lael Collins. We'll see if he makes the team up in Buffalo. The injuries have really mounted for him. For Mark, the only way Jerry Jones is a serious change is to seriously tank. Anything better than outright tanking and Jerry Jones is the same thing again and again. I don't disagree. Like if you want real change, it has to be real change. It has to be drastic change. That probably means you have to change the way you do business. And my concern is that this team, it's not that they just want to win, it's that they don't want to lose. And when you play to not lose, we see what ends up happening, right? You end up losing. I think that's same with organizational structure as well. So, like, if you don't like what this current setup is, if you don't want to win with your core, then yes, you have to tank. Because this maybe isn't what you're saying, Mark, but I think it goes to this. If you go, we're close, let's just swap out the quarterback for like Geno Smith or something, which was suggested to me, it's not going to work. That's not gonna be a success. Like if you're gonna change, do a real head coaching search, go tank for a year, and bottom out, and get a top 5 pick at QB. Because otherwise, like I think the odds of getting a quarterback of Dak Prescott's caliber are pretty friggin' low if you're not getting a top 5, top 10 pick. So I would agree. My mindset is go to the extreme. Win a bunch of games right now, go all in, actually all in, or tank. And we'll have live Dallas Cowboys watch parties for you all regular season and preseason long. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Gary Sanderson says draft Isaiah Bond, considering Dallas needs to clear a wide receiver 2 for the future. Who are some guys that can replace Mike if fired? We've got Mike McCarthy replacements on the channel. I'd say just check it out that way. It'll be a lot easier than me just sitting here going, Bill Belichick, Ben Johnson, Mike Zimmer, blah, blah, blah. There's a pretty long list of names there. I like the Isaiah Bond idea, Like, I think if you draft a receiver, he's got to have speed. I'm tired of drafting 4 or 5 guys. Give me a 4-4 guy or lower. Like, and I think Bond has that. But you might have to take him round 1, and you might have bigger needs that you have to address since you refuse to spend any money in free agency. From Timmy Smith, or is it Smith spelled weird? Either way, sorry. I guess I got one of them wrong, so sorry. How about trading for Cam Heyward? Steelers aren't going to do that. There's just no way. It fills a huge need for you, but I don't see why Pittsburgh would do that, and it's also a very un-Cowboys move. Fun idea, not going to happen. I want you guys to name a player who you want to trade for. You know, let's keep it realistic here, but name a player for me in the comment section who you would love to see the Cowboys add. Ivan, if everything goes wrong, how many losses consecutively can we accrue at the beginning of the year before Jerry makes a head coaching change? I don't think he'd do it until they're out of the playoff race. Frankly, I have the Cowboys could be 3-10. I question if he would do it then. Seriously. Because I don't think he wants to fire people. He doesn't want to pay them to not work for him, which is stupid. By the way, it's stupid. But I have my doubts that he would do it. But as long as they're as long as they are mathematically alive in the playoff hunt, I don't think they'll go down that path. JD428. What do we do if Mazi doesn't take a step forward? He gets this year no matter what. They're not going to move on. There's just no way. Next year he's on the bubble. And if he doesn't take a step forward, you have to start operating like Mazi Smith is just never going to emerge. That you cannot bank on him developing into a key piece. You have to assume it's not going to happen. So therefore, you have to find other pieces. And you probably have to overinvest in one spot because your last investment you can't bank on anymore. If we did not get to your question, my DMs are open at @WhatGoingDowney. Hit me up, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, especially as long as those dumb bots aren't in the way.